Tonight, our team coverage of Hurricane Florence continues.
The storm has weakened a bit, but still promises to really pack a punch across the Carolinas. Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope will break down what the latest track means for us.
We'll also have live reports in the next hour from the Piedmont Triad and the coast as people everywhere brace for this storm. And with that, we say good evening. I'm Kenny Beck.
And I'm Talitha Vickers. Tomorrow, the mayor of Winston-Salem is set to join several other local cities in declaring a state of emergency ahead of Hurricane Florence.
Let's begin our team coverage at home with Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope to see exactly how we are thinking this storm will impact the Piedmont. Lainey.
Well, it looks like we have some time before the main impacts from this storm are into the Triad and the mountains and the foothills. The coast, though, of course, it is closing in. You can already see it's just a few hundred miles to the southeast of Wilmington and Myrtle Beach, and some of those outer bands of clouds are already approaching the coastline. Now, it is weakened just slightly at the 8 o'clock update with 115-mile-per-hour winds, but it is still a major hurricane. It's moving northwest at 16 miles an hour, so it hasn't slowed down just yet, but it is anticipated that it will slow down. You take a look at this, you can already see some of the rain that is not too far offshore, and you can see the winds right along the coastline. They're out of the northeast, not too breezy just yet, at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So here's the forecast track, continuing it as a major hurricane, potentially a little bit of strengthening over the next 24 hours, then likely going to weaken as it approaches the shoreline. Will it make landfall? That's a question we can't answer right now, meaning does that eye actually get on shore? It may not. It's definitely going to stall and slow down along the coastline, which is really a worst case scenario for beach erosion and surge and rainfall. The slower it goes, the more moisture it is going to have. Then in the outlying areas, we're going to watch that track move across potentially South Carolina, and it's that part of the track where we may be impacted with some rain. Hurricane warnings extend along the coastline. Tropical storm warnings and watches pushed northward almost into Randolph County at this point in time. Definitely life-threatening storm surge on the coast with hurricane force winds across the Sandhills, some 40 to 70 mile-per-hour winds, 20 to 30 inches of rainfall anticipated in the eastern Carolinas. I'll be back to tell you how much I expect in our area coming up.
Lainey, thank you very much. Now let's get a look at how things are going along our coast right now.
AJ Burnett is live in Wilmington. AJ, we spoke earlier when you were in Wrightsville Beach before mandatory evacuations kicked in. AJ, what's going on there tonight?
Well, take a look behind me right now. You can see all these flashing lights. These are police crews that have effectively shut down the causeway that leads from Wilmington, North Carolina, over into Wrightsville Beach. They were told that everybody had to be off of the island by 8 o'clock, and so now it is completely shut down. Anybody who remains out on Wrightsville Beach is going to have to stay there, and if any sort of emergency happens with them, they're kind of on their own. But from what we could see earlier today, most of the folks got off the island and heeded the advice. Now, in Wilmington itself, I'm told that a curfew actually went into effect at 8 o'clock this evening. Let's take you back a couple of hours to when we were still on Wrightsville Beach, just before we were told we had to leave. You can see it's pretty much been boarded up and shut down. Nobody out there at all, just a lot of plywood up on the windows and walls, hoping to reinforce things from what should prove to be a very powerful hurricane that will start to flirt with us, this area, as we step on toward later tomorrow afternoon. Now, the news has been getting better in some respects, but a lot worse in other respects. Back here live, we've been telling you that the storm has weakened just a little bit, but I don't want you to throw caution to the wind and think that we're out of the woods with this whatsoever, because the problem is the storm is also going to slow down, we think, at this point. And what that does is just causes a prolonged period of wave action, beach erosion, major coastal flooding from storm surge, in addition to freshwater flooding from all the heavy rain. Folks, this is definitely going to be a storm to be remembered for an awfully long time, and I would assume you can only do that at this point, that the cleanup is going to take a long time after this, and Wrightsville Beach is going to look very different after the storm has departed. Guys, over to you.
AJ, thank you so much. Please be careful out there. Thousands of people are evacuating right now. This map shows all of the counties in the Carolinas given evacuation orders. It includes Wrightsville Beach, all the barrier islands, and Charleston County, South Carolina.
Back home, crews in the Triad are getting to work setting up emergency shelters so all those evacuees from the coast have somewhere to go, and there are lots of them.
And our Steve King is at one of the shelters set up at the Lawrence Stroll Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem. Steve, what do people need to know about these shelters?
Well, the LJVM Coliseum opened its doors as a Red Cross shelter tonight at about 6 o'clock. There's a few people here now, but there's room for hundreds more. Now, we did speak with a couple from Wilmington who came to the shelter and say that right now they're just happy that they are out of harm's way and with each other.
Especially after driving 3.5 hours to get here. Yes, just knowing that we are together and that there's a safe place where we can lay our heads, it means a whole lot.
This shelter, which will be available the next 2 weeks, has cots, bathrooms, showers, food, snacks, and water. Red Cross leaders say they had to open the shelter at Joel Coliseum because other shelters near the coast either filled up or are in harm's way. Now, there will be Red Cross members at this shelter who can help connect people to needed resources in their hometowns to help them rebuild their lives when they eventually leave the shelter in 2 weeks.
There are going to be thousands upon thousands of people evacuating from the coast. We want to make sure that we're ready for them and that they've got a place to go and are safe themselves. And of course that we know what their recovery, what the needs will be for recovery so that we can begin planning for that as well. So this critical time really is about just being able to ensure that life safety as the storm comes to pummel North Carolina.
People cannot bring their pets here to the shelter, but they can bring them next door to the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Annex. For a complete list of emergency shelters around the state, you can visit our website, WXII12.com. Reporting live from Winston-Salem, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And those shelters will become increasingly important because hotels continue to fill up at alarmingly fast rates.
In fact, phones have been ringing off the hook as people rush to make reservations. This is happening from Wilmington to Raleigh and even further west. The hotel one of our crews stopped by in Rocky Mount says they can't take any new reservations because they're still trying to accommodate everyone who's already there.
The hotel says it's offering canceled rooms to people who are already in the area before opening them up to out-of-town guests. The tough part is the calls keep coming in.
It's really hard because, I mean, you can, we had a call on Tuesday from a Marine that's in Camp Lejeune, and he's like, do you have anything available? And we don't. And he's like, I have my family. Is there anything that you can do? So it's pretty hard turning people away.
The company Airbnb is trying to help people find a place to stay as well. Earlier this week, it activated its Open Homes program to help people evacuating from the storm or relief workers who have to ride things out. Local Airbnb operators in Winston-Salem and Asheville are opening their homes free of charge. The same goes for rooms available in South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, and Tennessee. Check with the Airbnb website or check their app to make reservations.
Power outages could be a huge issue with this storm as well. Duke Energy says it is possible 20% of the Carolinas could end up in the dark as a result of Hurricane Florence. Duke's meteorologists say 1 to 3 million outages are possible throughout North Carolina and South Carolina. Combined, those two states have a population of a little over 15 million. More than 20,000 people are on standby to help restore power, the most in company history.
Hurricane storm surge poses the most significance to the Carolina coast. Now, some estimates say water could reach as high as 20 feet inland. NBC News' Carrie Sanders experienced it firsthand 2 years ago. You're about to see just how dangerous and deadly they can be.
This is what storm surge looks like. It's a fast-moving, fast-rising flash flood with the power of the Atlantic Ocean behind it.
So what causes storm surge? 100-mile-per-hour winds whipping across the surface of the water, piled higher and higher. The storm surge combined with high tide may cause waves as high as 13 feet, leading to miles and miles of extreme flooding.
Boy, that was some video, wasn't it? Storm surge, wind, and rain are enough to get people to leave their homes. But what about business owners? What are they planning to do?
Our Mallory Lane is in Rocky Mount, where some businesses are boarding up ahead of the storm.
The sun is down, but the work is continuing here in Rocky Mount tonight. We've got crews who are boarding up businesses. They've even got sandbags, about 800 of them. These guys work with Jake's LLC. Their work started yesterday. So far, they've hit 6 to 7 places. Tonight, they're working at Belk Department Store in Rocky Mount to secure its entrance and try to keep water from coming in tomorrow night. They say business is booming right now.
Probably sold about a good 150 bags today, just to people just walking by. I think this storm is worse than others, to be honest. I think people just, it's just really taking us by surprise. So.
Several shelters are open in Tarboro and Rocky Mount for those who need it. Reporting in Rocky Mount, Mallory Lane, WXII 12 News.
Hurricane hunters flying out of Florida are getting a bird's eye view of this monster storm coming our way. They have flown into Florence about a dozen times, dropping hundreds of devices known as dropsondes into the storm to collect valuable weather information. Pilots say what they've seen of Florence so far is like no other storm they have ever seen.
Well, staying in the friendly skies, airports also keeping a very close eye on Florence. Right now, PTI Airport in Greensboro says it has no plans to shut down because of Hurricane Florence. That could still change, though. They are monitoring the situation and will adjust accordingly if need be. Raleigh-Durham International Airport already has some cancellations. Air Canada, Alaska, and Southwest Airlines are all planning to stop service as of tomorrow. American, Frontier, JetBlue, and United will have scattered cancellations, so you want to check your flight status before you leave. Right now, Delta Airlines says tomorrow should be business as usual.
Several local school districts are closing early or shutting down altogether as Hurricane Florence heads our way. We have a full list of those details on our website, our free mobile app, and a list is scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now.
And of course, this is a story and a storm that continues to be fluid. It is ever changing. You can get information about Hurricane Florence any time of the day on the free WXI 12 News mobile app. You can find information about the track, a list of shelters, and advice to help keep your family safe, along with which schools and universities will be canceled and when. We'll also send breaking news alerts to that app.